Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome to Forever Worthy Podcast, a show all about sharing personal life stories. All of our life experiences have value, and when we share them in truth without shame, they hold powerful energy that can help others heal and live their life in freedom. And who am I? Well, I'm your host, Chardonnay Hooker, a dance empowerment instructor and an intuitive worthiness coach that has been on a self-love healing mission for women for years, which was inspired from my own intense contrast and how I chose to claim my power back to know my worthiness. This show will have colorful content and brave topics that will awaken our souls and inspiration as we take a journey together with our guest speakers. We will be exploring and discussing raw dialogue that helps us reach deeper to transform. I look forward to sharing each moment with you all and freely collaborating our stories that will raise our vibration in profound ways. It is time for you to step out of your own way and stand in the truth that you are forever worthy. Hey there, awesome ladies. Oh, it's so good to be back. I had to take a deserving health break, which was a little humbling because I haven't been sick in a really long time. But on a reality note, the last 4 months, everywhere I went, everyone was ill with the flu. There wasn't one place I could go without a stranger coughing or sneezing on me. And then I remembered, it's not the norm anymore for people to take time to rest when they're sick. We mute our human bodies screaming for rejuvenation. How do we lose that connection to honor our lives with self-care on all levels? All these thoughts led me down memory lane of why I opened my dance studio teaching pole fitness. It was to give women a safe place to refill their spirit on a deeper emotional level through the art of dance. It was their sacred time that only belonged to them to learn their worthiness. Today, I have one of my original pole divas here to break down more of that topic on how important it is for women to create time daily to awaken their souls in self-love. So without further ado, we welcome our forever worthy goddess, Olga Ramirez.
All right, good morning.
Wow, welcome to the show. Damn, you started the show.
I know. You're like, wait.
I was like, wait, who's the host?
You pushed the button and I was like, morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Olga.
Good
Welcome
morning.
to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Acknowledge how long this connection has been between us because we started back in the day with each other almost 10 years ago.
Yeah. I think it's actually a little bit more than 10 because my youngest is 16. So I'm going to say about 12, 13 years.
Dang.
Plus the whole year before that when we were at the first studio.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I'm going to say
I love
you're
Facebook
right.
memories
Yes.
that kind of put you in perspective to appreciate things that have happened.
And how old you are.
Yeah, and how...
That you've gotten older. It's like, no, that just happened 6 months ago, not 10 years ago.
I'm an old soul, but a young spirit. Okay, break down like where we know each other from and how the journey started. So back in the day,
Way back, like 6 months ago, back in the days. Like 13 years ago, back in the days, not 6 months. But I remember driving through your old first studio. And I saw the sign at the front saying that it was Pole Divas. And I was like, wait a minute. And I remember calling you like 3 times and nothing. And you didn't call me back. I left a message. And then like a month or so later, it was still there. So I called again and finally you answered. And I guess you were in the process of getting things settled in and permits and whatnot. And yeah, you finally called me back. And I was like, oh my God. This is real. This is like real. And then we met.
yeah, you were right. I was going through a process with the city, getting my business license because where we lived in our community, no one had come up with this idea of bringing pole fitness, fun and, sexy, dance empowerment workouts to our community areas. So it was popping, everywhere in LA.
Yes.
It was really popular, but in our small kind of...
Oh, God forbid. Oh, my goodness. We'll go to hell. Not AV.
Yeah, the big scarlet letter.
Yes.
So they were really kind of cautious about like
what are you doing in there? What are you could really be teaching? And so I was explaining, my program to them, and that it was, it was pole fitness, but it was, a fun and sexy empowerment, workouts for women, but on a deeper emotional level. They couldn't wrap their concept around it for me. So, because of all of that, I don't know if you know this, but I had to sign like a 2-page contract that was connected to my business license, and that I wasn't going to use my space of instructing to either create more strippers for LA, active
hookers, yeah. They're like, no more hookers in Angela Valley, please.
They're like, Chardonnay hooker wants to teach pole fitness in an area that, kind of was, I don't know.
It seemed well too planned. This is an evil plan, and she's good. It makes sense.
Oh,
denied.
I had to sign this, and let me tell you, Olga, there was even a part on the contract that was like, will not instruct or have any type of engagement on like sexual orgies.
Oh, that's why you said no to my proposal. You're like, what? Her face. What is she talking about? No, I never did that. For the
That's
record.
so great. Yeah, and so that's, how it went down for that. And finally, I got signed off, and I opened, and I was so excited, and it was really awesome. I was really like kind of open-minded to how, it was just going to unfold and become this amazing program for women to have this safe place to come and tap into themselves and learn themselves on a deeper emotional level through the expression of dance. And it was so great because one, to be an instructor and sit before that many women and watch them discover themselves, and number one thing was, so important, like you, is when you came in, and I think everyone's not a born dancer, so they don't really always understand like how they like to express themselves in movement. Have this connection with other women that were so hungry for this. It's pretty awesome because I didn't teach 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, no routine. It was
no routines.
It was great because then you see yourself in the mirrors and you're like, oh, shit, that looks good. Holy crap, I can be sexy. I like this. And then, you do another, not routine, another step or something, and you're like, oh, definitely don't repeat that one. But, with trial and error and just kind of learning your body and how your body moves and how, it's okay to love your body and it's okay to feel sexy. It's okay to be a mom, to be a daughter, a wife, a businesswoman, a working woman, whatever, and still be sexy for you, not for your boyfriends, not for your husbands, to be sexy for you, to love yourself, and that's one thing that definitely you taught so many women.
Yeah, it was an honor. And a teacher in that moment, but I was also a student because I was constantly on that level of connecting to you guys to keep my accountability to my connection for myself, and then us bonding. I mean, oh my gosh, we bonded on such amazing levels. It was such an inspiration, platform for so many women. Like, in all the years, Olga, that I had that dance studio, do you know, never one time in those years did any woman act in any type of jealousy or have conflict or nothing. Now, behind closed doors, in privacy, like, and when some of my students were battling through something, we definitely went on some heavy levels of that, and it was really a great time for them to be really raw and real on what was, hidden away inside of them. And we had to do a lot of work when we were there, At first, I know, it's a big leap for women to say, hey, I'm worthy of having 1 hour once a week to myself. And making that dedication is huge because not every woman can do that. We're so defined by the roles we play, and we're so depleted by the time we, want to even take a bath, we're talking ourselves out of it. And then, we don't even wash our faces, brush our teeth, and we're just like, I just need bed.
Just go to bed.
And that's what it was all about, was stepping into that value and worthiness for yourself and having 1 hour once a week that was not defined and did not belong to anyone but you.
Yes. And I think a lot of it it's so hard because we put everybody else before us. You know, our husbands and the laundry and the pets at home and the kids homework and this and dinner and whatever the case. It just keeps adding that. By the time you know, it's 8, 9 o'clock, you're like, "Ugh, I'm done. But if I do this, then I don't have to do it tomorrow, and maybe I'll have an extra 2 hours to myself, which just means you'll have an extra 2 hours to do extra laundry."
Right?
Because you never get it to yourself unless you commit to it. Get out of the house, commit to it. Don't fall in the same trap over and over again, and it becomes our norm.
Yeah.
You know,
spoken like a true advocate for women, and some really awesome compliments come towards the program. And one was, I remember one of my students calling, and she was bawling her eyes out because her schedule switched and she couldn't come to class. The hunger and the knowing of how much she was like, this is so important to me.
Yes.
I want to get there. I'm devastated I can't, because I'm sorry, like, when, you know, like, I'm not saying, like, the gym and stuff, but it's so easy, like, to make up excuses not to, like, exercise or do this or do that, you know?
It is very
but
easy.
With the dance program and kind of the pole fitness expressions and what we were doing there was, you know, it was such a cool addiction. It was such an endorphin.
Good.
Yeah.
It really was. I mean, it took us about a week to recover from the bruises and whatnot. So it was, you know, but yes, it was a good natural high.
Yes.
You know, you definitely were sore the next day and you're like, oh my God. But then you couldn't wait for the next week.
The lighting was also so important, the ambiance. Because we are so mean to ourselves.
I know, we're our worst critics.
We're
really
horrible. And it was really awesome because it, you know, there was, you know, just ambiance of candlelit, almost, you know, lighting in there, and it was really a great time for you guys to learn how to softly fall in love with yourselves again.
Definitely.
And I watched you grow and grow and grow, and whew, girl, you were like on fire on that pole. Did you even think in the beginning that you could ever?
No, never. Like, no. And then it just kind of, it's empowering when you're like, wow, I could climb a pole. Wow, I could flip upside down in a pole. Wow, I can swing and swing and swing and not look like a little kid swinging. You really look like
a sexy goddess.
Yeah, like magical. You know, and it really inspired me. It inspired me to help other women feel the same way I was feeling, which was comfortable and just powerful.
Yeah, we all have been we're all still so bonded to each other from that experience, you know, and it's awesome, and I love that. It's, you know, it really is important for us to continue those communities of women, to bring them, you know, in connection, because we do. It's just like, even now, like, I'm so humbled by the fact that it's taken us this long to be face to face again with each other, and we used to be a part of each other's lives weekly, right?
Yes.
And it's like now,
more, even sometimes a couple times a week.
Yeah. Well, oh my God, girl, you got so good at your pole fitness that I trained you, and you took over a couple classes for me when I had other venues that I was attending.
That was an honor. And that's why, like, when I started teaching for you too, I was like, I get to do this more than once a week. I get to do it multiple times a week and do extra classes and teach women. And then when I became, you know, went from student to instructor too, I appreciated you even more. Because then, you're bombarded with so much of different energies all at once within that hour, and then you have to make sure you don't take that negative energy or sad energy to the next class, because you're about to get bombarded all over again. And at the same time, you think, like, I would think ahead for specific classes what the girls would be going toward, you know, through, so that I could kind of help just guide them or say comments that hopefully would bring them some guidance. You know, if one of them
it was
had
so
lost
individual.
somebody.
It really was. And that's why I kept it on such an intimate level. That's why I had 6 pulls and 6 girls to a class.
Yeah.
And I, you know, there's so many other programs that are out there, and they're awesome. But they would have like 40 girls in a class with one pole, and I was like,
There's
what?
No way. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, how do you get like to really connect or learn your expressions? But I mean, for me, like my program was, you know, a lot different. You know, I really pushed you guys to learn your bodies and build your stamina and understand your connection to yourself and your expressions and having that playtime and building yourself in your muscle tone and everything to understand. Like, I mean, you know, you guys weren't climbing the pole right away.
Yeah. And I remember it too. Like, I remember going, holy shit, did I just climb up this pole? Holy crap. It was one of those, like, all that work that was put in for months, you know, it all just erupted there. I was like, oh my God. And it totally transformed your body too, by the way. The shape of your body, your muscle tone, your strength, and you don't get like these big muscles. And fine, if that's for you, that's cool. All power to you. That's a lot of work that that I can't even think of how I don't know how power to those girls. But anyway, yeah, it really transforms your body. It's such a great fitness thing to do. It's just
and you know what's so great about this is dancing is so much fun.
Yes.
And so it doesn't feel like you're working out.
Not at all.
And there is times, remember when we would do classes back to back, I would do a 2-hour special.
Yes.
Like we call us the Friday night specials. And we would have like 2 hours back to back of just dancing our hearts out. And and it was so awesome because I was like, how we became even more sexier, the more sweatier we became.
Yes.
Because it was such a reflection of knowing that we were in this complete movement together to bring like healing and inspiration and empowerment. And I mean, like, what woman doesn't yearn to just feel sexy, you know, and free? I mean, we had people in the program that were in their 70s and 80s. We had somebody that was 81.
She rocked it.
She rocked that freaking pole.
Age is a number. And like I even now I tell people, like, it doesn't matter your size, your shape, your age. You can pull it off.
Yeah, you can.
You are beautiful. Like, pull it off. Just, you got to believe in yourself. And sometimes a little bit of training might help to get you out there. And before you know it, you're like, oh, wow.
It is.
I'm a woman.
You are, and believe me, Olga, you are an incredible woman. You are such an amazing earthly warrior, and
so have to break down how you have mastered what it is to create a love station. You got to share with us how you've taken over your entire garage space area.
We had my son's car in there, and I'm like, I want a place to dance. Like, I have my art studio where I do all my paintings and all that stuff, but I wanted something where there was no distractions, because if I go into the art studio and try to dance there, I'm like, oh, let me paint.
Yes.
And I needed to just stay focused on what I wanted to do, which was dance. And he's like, okay, what do you need? I'm like, well, I need the floors done, I need mirrors, I need lights, I need this. And the next weekend he was shopping for the floor covering to make sure the floor didn't look like a garage floor. It's a finished floor. And then the dance area is a different kind of flooring, so it's smoother and whatnot, easier on the stilettos.
On the knees?
On the knees. We got the poles up, the one pole in there, the mirrors. We got a yoga swing for yoga. I don't think I've used it for yoga yet. I'll YouTube how to use it for yoga. But it's fun. The yoga swing and the pole. And the lights and the music. And I got good music system in there.
I'm sorry. And the first thing I'm thinking is like, yeah, I bet it is a yoga swing.
I know. And the bad part is...
Oh, God. I like that you're deflecting it as... I like it. You're camouflaging it as a yoga swing. I think every one. Every married couple should have a yoga swing.
In parentheses with your little fingers, little bunny ears. Yes, those things are really cool to stretch. And it's an awesome freaking place.
Yeah, it is.
And it's roomy enough where...
It's magical in there.
It is. And then I have all the stars in the ceiling, and the lights go down, and it's just like a whole different galaxy. It's my world in there. A whole different world.
What a great promotion for all the listeners out there to know. Like, you know, I'm such a huge advocate about creating a space that's very sacred for each woman. And I always talk about it on like my blogs and for Forever Worthy, and talk about creating your love station.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, and whatever it needs to look like, you know, I tell for women always in the beginning, when you're creating a love station that's sacred for you, like do it in your bathroom just to train yourself for your accountability, because I think it's so easy because you get so distracted. But you know, you're going into the bathroom a couple times that morning, and you're going to see things, you know, write little, you know, love messages to yourself, you know, ignite your spirit and your soul on fire about dreaming again and getting connected to things that you desire, and throw some music on and dance, you know, like meditation. You know, a lot of people out in the world don't know how to do meditation. Well, they don't realize, like, when you're just breathing and moving your body and closing your eyes and just getting connected to yourself, that is meditation.
Yeah. When you lose track of time, when you look at your watch and you're like, holy shit, I've been in here 5 hours. Oh, I was supposed to pick up the kids 2 hours ago. Shit, again. You know, but yeah, when you lose track of time, you know you're in the zone. Mm-hmm. You know you're in the right place.
Yeah.
And if you're doing, obviously, we're promoting healthy stuff, but if you're doing something healthy and you lose track of time and it fills your cup, do it. Do it. And you know what? If you need extra money to make it how you envision it, then stop going to Starbucks every morning. You know, there's other places that you can get that money from. A lot of people are like, well, I don't have money to buy stars to put on the ceiling. Okay, then you can maybe skip Starbucks twice, and now you have enough money to buy these glow-in-the-dark little stars that you can put all over that magical place and make it extra magical.
Yeah, it is. It's our priorities. Yeah, and our excuses that we don't honor ourselves when we want something. We can create all those things.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is we just don't feel we're worthy. Mm-hmm. You know, and I think a lot of us are like, well, you know, that's $50. I could buy my daughter a cute little Easter dress, and her shoes, and this, but she already has 10 for this Easter. Little, you know, it's like, no, actually, how about you prioritize? Because yes, okay, fine, if she doesn't really need that dress, but you really need to have your space. You really have to have that magical place that's going to keep you happy, so that your kids and your loved ones can also be happy. Because it's kind of like when you have a bad day at work. If you come home, if you have a really shitty day at work, you come home, your shitty vibes are there. You got to be able to leave that at work. Same thing. If you're at home and you have your space that keeps you happy and keeps you clean and just your thoughts well organized, your family are going to get those vibes too. And you're teaching your kids what to do. You're teaching them that, yes, self-love and self-care is as important as everything else.
You can be around somebody that's negative and you can be in the happiest mood and you're just like, I feel so irritated right now. I'm frustrated. And then you're driving and you're like flipping person off and you're like, God, I don't even flip people off, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden you come home and then you're transferring your anger towards your husband and your kids. And everyone's like, God, like, I wish you didn't even come home today.
Just
you know,
stay home late. Do some overtime. You really need those stars. Work some overtime so you can buy your fucking stars. No, it's true though. You definitely, there's these constant vibrations, and the stronger your vibrations are, when there's negative people around you, you just, it's not that you feel bad for them. I'm not saying feel bad for people. But you're just kind of like, well, they're probably having a bad day. I'm not going to make it any worse. And I'm going to move far enough where their vibrations are not going to really contaminate mine.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, don't be contaminating my vibe.
Get your ass out of my circle.
This interview has been such a blast. My heart is swelling with gratitude that I even had the privilege to own a dance studio for almost 8 years. You know, all the students, including you, Olga, were so open to a new way of exploring dance. I mean, we did journal writing to release and heal, pole, wall, floor, fun and sexy expressions, dress up, and we ended each class with aromatherapy cool downs. And this is what inspired me on a new level to travel teaching my dance empowerment program worldwide. I mean, it's minus the poles now, but we both know that was such a small part of what made the program so special. Before we end the show, what love message would you like to leave for the listeners today?
Whether it's art, dance, whether you like collecting bottle caps, whatever it is that brings you joy and that gets you in that zone of self-love, do it. If you're not hurting anybody, you're not hurting yourself, by all means do it. Go hike. If you like hiking, if you like whatever it is, gardening, make sure it's something healthy and get into that zone and master it. There's someone out there that really loves you.
Connection.
Those
So
connections important. And it could be the man in the liquor store, the little girl in the park, that person. You just don't realize it's going to, sometimes push a button that's really going to change things. So always be open for all these messages that just life in general sends you. You just got to listen. Slow down. Listen.
Love it. Thank you, Olga. We so appreciate your time. I love you, girl.
I love you more. Thank you for having me.
Hey there, precious ladies. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode. I just loved today's show with our guest speaker, Olga. It was so empowering, and it was a blast to go down memory lane. I adored how she stayed dedicated on what she took in from my dance program. She made it a priority daily to honor her beautiful soul in her love station and stayed connected dancing to feel like a goddess. She allowed this experience to awaken her, to know her worthiness, and to have healthy boundaries with all of her relationships. It's a powerful reminder that we must create time every morning, sometimes several times a day, to ground our energy, to remember who we are at a soul level. And remember, be kind to yourself as you launch your colorful love journeys of discovery. It's time to be brave, ladies, and let go of those energy drainers and find a community of women that inspire you to live your higher purpose. If you are interested in booking Forever Worthy Dance Empowerment Program for a private event, conference, or retreat, please email me at youareforeverworthy@gmail.com. And do me a favor, hit that share button.